All right, let's talk about enhancing influence using visual imagery. Now, we already know this, right? The use of visuals, it's a really powerful tool for influencing others and also for enhancing our own performance. And what we found is that your brain's visual system, it plays a really crucial role in how we perceive and interpret information. Now, when we understand how the brain processes visual information, this can help us to create more effective visuals that can enhance our ability to influence others and improve our performance. So that's what we want to do, right? Now, one of the key findings in neuroscience is that the brain processes visual information much faster than it does other types of information. It's around about 60 times faster. So studies have shown that your brain processes images in as little as 13 milliseconds, which is a lot faster than what it takes to process text or speech. So what does this mean? Well, it means that by using visuals in presentations or meetings or other situations, now this doesn't just mean visual aids, this also means using metaphors and creating visual images in people's mind as well. This is where when we want to influence other people, this is a really powerful way for us to capture their attention and to engage them quickly. Now, another important aspect of visual processing is that the brain tends to remember images better than text or speech. Now, this is because images activate multiple areas of the brain. This includes the visual cortex and the hippocampus, and these are responsible for memory consolidation. Now, when we see an image, our brain processes it in a way that creates a more durable memory trace compared to text or speech. So it's taking hold a lot more and it's sticking a lot better than it would with text or speech. So when we're using those visuals in presentations or other situations where we want to influence others, this is a really effective way to help them remember the key points that we want them to take away because they stick a lot better. Now, in addition to enhancing our ability to influence others, using visuals can also improve our own performance. So in the same way that these visualization techniques work for other people, we can use them for ourselves. And this has been used for decades by athletes, by performers, by musicians, by academics to improve skills and enhance performance. Actually, probably the best one that I've heard of that does this, or did this, was Nikola Tesla. And he was able to build these really complex inventions and machines in his head. He would run through it, he would do a lot of the bug testing and figure out, well, if I did this, this isn't going to work, and this isn't going to work, and this isn't going to work. And so he'd do all of the trial error in his head. And so then when it came time to actually build it, he would often get it right on the first time or maybe the second time. And that's pretty remarkable when you think about the complexity and the time and everything that Nikola Tesla was doing. That's remarkable. And it was through visualization, because the idea behind visualization is that by mentally rehearsing a task, we're actually activating the same neural pathways that are involved in actually performing the task. So you're getting a lot of the same benefits, and this helps to improve your motor skills. This helps to improve reaction times and just performance overall. Now, one study that demonstrates the power of visualization involved participants who were asked to practice a simple motor task by imagining themselves performing that task, right? Now, what researchers found is that the participants who used visualization, so the ones who ran through it mentally, they were able to improve their performance by, wait for it, up to 35% compared to those who didn't use visualization. 35% better by running through things in your mind. Now, this really just nail in the coffin, right? This really just shows us that visual imagery is a really powerful tool for enhancing our own performance. So while we can use it for others, use it for yourself as well. Now, it is important to note that not all visuals are created equal when it comes to influencing others and enhancing our own performance. And in order to be effective, you can't just put something up there and go, well, my job's done, right? It doesn't work like that. In order for these visuals to be effective, they need to be carefully crafted to match the goals of the situation. So context is really important. So, for example, in a presentation, visuals, they should be used to support the key points being made rather than to distract from them. Otherwise, we're going to focus on the distractions, and that's what we're going to remember. That's what's going to stick. Now, in addition to that, visuals, we should be choosing them based on their relevance to the audience and their ability to engage and capture their attention. Now, we're processing these visuals at 60 times faster, which means that we decide whether or not this is relevant for us 60 times faster, and we either stick with it or we move on. So another important thing to consider is how it's represented. Is it going to capture our attention? Is it relevant for my audience? Does it make sense to them? Are they going to get it straight away? And the thing there is this going to capture their attention? And then we move on and we think about other things that are important to consider. And this is the emotional impact of visuals. Now, research has shown us time and time again that strong visuals evoke strong emotions, and this can be things like fear or anger or joy, and this can be more memorable and more influential than visuals that are emotionally neutral, right? Now, however, it is important to use emotional visuals in a responsible and an ethical manner. Because we've all seen people that tug the heartstrings and you're like, oh, come off it, right? So it needs to be appropriate, and you need to use this ethically. And you need to ensure, this is really how we decide if they're appropriate and ethical, you need to ensure that they're appropriate for the context and for the audience. So let's sum it up, right? Visuals, we know that these are really powerful for influencing others and for enhancing our own performance. But you need to understand how the brain processes visual information, and when we understand that, we can create more effective visuals that capture attention, that engage audiences, and also enhance our memory and stick with us a lot better. Now, it's really important, though, that we use our visuals in a responsible and an ethical manner. Make sure the context is right. Make sure that we're doing them in a way that is in the best interest of the person. And we do that by making sure that they're carefully crafted to match the goals of the situation. Now, again, I just want to double down on the point that this doesn't mean that you need pie charts and pretty symbols and things. If you don't have those things and you're just having a conversation with somebody, you can paint a visual image in their mind of what you want to get across. And remember, we want to be highlighting those key points that we want them to take away. Sometimes this does need some careful planning and some execution. And when we put all of that together, visuals are a really valuable asset in our efforts to influence people and to perform at our best. So have a think about how you're using visuals in your daily life, in your presentations, in your communications, in your conversations. And think about those times when you want to be a little bit more influential. And then the last thing is to think about how can you use visuals in that context. Are you able to show people things? Are there things that you can maybe have on your phone ready to pull out? Or if that's not appropriate, how do we tell those stories and how do we start to create those visuals in somebody's mind so that we can activate that visual cortex and that hippocampus, and we can get the points that we want to really stick with them. So that's what they leave with. That's all for today. See you later.